hanging and a jiving. What'd you say? Did you say?
It was lagging. It was
No, what'd you say?
lagging. I said I was trying to say welcome. I was trying to join you in saying welcome to Hanging and a Jiving, episode three.
Yes. I mean, Two Old Blues. That's
Two Old Blues.
yes. Um, Two Old Blues. It's the third episode that aired. It was the first one that was filmed, right? But the third one that
Yeah,
it was third that was aired,
yeah.
and it was aired. I think I'm not sure. I have to find that. I'll post it wherever it was.
No, that was no. The Getting Up the Rent was they had it slated for episode three, but yeah, in some forms is episode three, but it's not. Well, we go back to our first podcast episode. It'll explain it.
Yes.
But this is Two Old Blues, where James thought, he, got a job, and they celebrated by a good job, which what pays $4.25.
Yeah. Which is in today's
So
standards. Today's standards would be
like
$27. To
$27.
2024 in 2024 it'd be $27, which
Okay. So yeah. So, but in actuality, he did not. He realized when he went there, uh, he said they told him that he was too old for the position. So, but back in the projects in the apartment, Florida threw him a big surprise, not a surprise party, but a big celebration surprise party, and yeah, and then he had to go home and break the news that he didn't get the job. So that's one of the very very many blows to the Evans family. Whenever they get their hopes up, somebody just fucks it all up.
yeah,
So yeah, so
pretty
that's
much.
that.
Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much it. It was a job through the government, and he had to the job requirements were to be a certain age, and actually kind of find out that he was older. He didn't
Yeah.
qualify, so he didn't get it. And so
Which
and
he
I
wasn't that many. He wasn't that many years apart. Like they act like he was like 10 years older or something.
I
It's like
think
a
he
few
was 10
years.
years older. When because it
Oh
said
no,
that it said because the guy said that I think it was you had to be born in the 40s, and James said he was born in the 30s.
yeah, but it wasn't that. It wasn't that. Uh, it was from. It was from age what 18 to 35, and he was 41,
Yeah, that's not too bad. I mean,
and not that bad.
yeah.
I think they could have just extended it. I don't know, but
Well, anyway, let's get into it.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So, um, so basically, it starts off with um, Florida's making breakfast. She comes in and says, "If you're not here, if you're ready, you're not hungry."
yeah.
Um,
You're in
and
the
just
wrong
kind of
apartment.
basically, in most, at least in the African American family, at least in my family, you ate what everybody else ate. There was no really
Exactly.
choice. And I'm sure with this family, you could get what you can, and that's
And
oatmeal.
with this family is nothing but oatmeal.
Yeah. So,
And
and then James comes in and he gives her love, which is very nice. The I think the thing is that they show, they really do show that they are in love, and I like that they have the black
yeah,
love, and there's no. I mean, yeah, Florida and James they get into arguments somebody, but there's that genuine. I love my woman. I'm sticking by
yeah.
her. It's the
He
essence
was
of
James, man. He might be quick tempered, but he will go to hell and high water for his wife and his kids.
yeah, he does.
That's the kind of That's the kind of man
Anyway,
that you
so
want. You don't want.
basically, the money that if he was to make that $4.25 in 1974, it would put them in the
Yeah,
middle class tax bracket. Um, and you
they
know,
wouldn't be living in no projects.
no, I maybe not, but considering what $27 can get you in Chicago,
Yeah, they would be in a. They would be probably in a middle. They would be in what's the neighborhood? Maybe not Hyde Park.
oh, they couldn't
I
afford Hyde
mean,
Park. Well, if
well,
James is only making, if James is
if
making $27 an hour, he'd
but
have to support his own family.
but at that time Florida wasn't working,
Yeah,
so
so he would be bringing in the money for everybody.
yeah, so he wouldn't. No, it wouldn't be no Hyde Park because he got a wife and three kids.
So he
So
would
he
not be
would
living
be
in the ghetto, or where would he be living?
he would probably live in the not.
South side.
I mean, yeah, he would be living in the south. He could live in the south side, west side. Probably not in the north side. I mean, that's where they were at, but they were in the
But not in the
project.
but they wouldn't be the projects, they'd be just a step
Yeah,
above the projects.
yeah, they would be a step above the projects. Now, the Cabrini Green is not Cabrini Green now. So this was 2024. Mike could possibly live in the uh uh like what I stayed in a affordable housing. It'll be they probably
Would they
could
qualify for that?
maybe I don't know. It would be based on his income, and if that's his only income, a family of four, no, a family of five, possibly maybe affordable income.
And so they could
So
possibly live in on the north side.
yeah, I could possibly live on the north side, in a decent, maybe probably like a 3 bedroom townhome or something like that, you know.
Yeah, that's kind of
So
moving on a bit. I think
that's yeah, that's
isn't
moving
that
on up.
if we
I
if
mean,
we fast forward to the end of the series, that's pretty much where
yeah,
Walona ends up,
yeah,
and Thelma, but we won't go that far yet. We're
yeah,
not there yet.
but
So they would end up on Baker Street, I guess, wherever that is in Chicago.
go big.
So yeah, basically James has got positive vibes. He's got he's feels like he's gonna get it because
He's feeling good. He's feeling
and
good. But wait a minute. There's a funny part. Say what's the funny part of they're all eating oatmeal and and, and them was like not oatmeal again. And then
well, we go
and
back
then
again. There's go back a little bit because I they it kind of dabbles back into what we were talking about, what I was talking about with the Christianity, the contradiction with the Christianity, Florida's contradiction with the and hypocrisy with
yeah.
the Christian. So they were talking about, I think James was saying something about how when they got together that one of the kids was out of wedlock.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. And
and
Michael said,
so and so Florida says, "Hey, don't, be quiet. We know the kids will hear." And then Michael says, "It doesn't make any difference to me because I'm not the oldest." And they look over, and I really do like this part where, they look over at JJ, and he gives us the funniest, expression, and then and response, and I think it's funny. But the thing about going towards the Christianity, I don't know if I should. I guess I'll just go ahead and talk about it now. Is like, you're such a staunch Christian, but you did, so that means you did have JJ out of wedlock, and that is against God. You had sex before marriage. That's another contradiction, and there's going to be
yeah,
another one in a minute. But anyway, JJ's response and look, I think that's the funniest, and this is where this is where JJ starts to still the scenes
yeah,
because his comedic timing. Jimmy Walker's very talented, no doubt about it. But this is where it starts, and I could tell that he's starting to shine and be funny. He is funny. Um, so then Thelma comes out and complains about the oatmeal, and I'm like,
Yeah,
my
and
thing is like,
then
I was
Michael
like,
was like,
how is cream of wheat an upgrade from
that's what, and
oatmeal?
then Michael was like, I wish, I wish we had cream of wheat. At least there's a, yeah, because at least there's a black man on the box, you know. But I don't want neither one of them. I don't want no cream of wheat. I don't want no damn oatmeal, whatever it is.
Somebody need to tell Michael just because there's a man on the box doesn't mean he's getting paid, paid for that. But stop with the militant. It is not that serious. Anyway, so moving on, of course the kids argue and um, you know, James, kind of gets involved and, tries to calm him down to stop arguing and you know, um
Yells at JJ, just get the mail. Go on, get the mail. You can eat
that's
later.
another thing too. Who gets the mail in the morning? Is it I never do you get mail delivered in the morning?
No, you barely get it delivered at night.
Um that's the thing is like that's just one of those little things. I was like, who gets mail in the morning? And how do you know that that's going to come in the morning?
It could have been that later
Certified?
later than in the, at night, and they don't want to go down there at night and get the mail,
Oh,
or I don't know, you
yeah.
know.
Because the mail that he gets is to so that James can be so that he can get that notice that to go down there. And
Yeah,
I'm like, so you get something in the mail and then it tells you to go be there at the same day. That's kind of rushing. But he may have
yeah,
known that it was coming, and that's why he knew that he had to be down there at
yeah.
the same that morning. So, because I'm like, if I'm not. If I get the mail, I could barely go get my mail, even though it's just a few feet away. I forget to go get it. If something comes in there that I got to be there at the same day, it probably won't happen. But we are different now. Everything comes to us through text messages and our apps and our email. So our communication is just a little bit different these days. So if somebody needs to get a hold of us, they'll get a hold of us. It's not by snail mail. So when she comes in, when Loka comes in,
Yeah,
she does say that she gets alimony from her husband. She's like, I'm waiting. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
so
She
that's why I
does.
was asking last week. I'm like, well, what's going on with Lona being able to live in the projects and be able to afford clothes like that? So she does have some kickback. She can work at the boutique for maybe a few hours and still collect
Yeah,
her alimony and have clothes. Still
yeah.
doesn't really it doesn't just still what's the word? It just doesn't go together.
But
I
it's
don't think
like,
I don't think
okay,
I don't think if I was a woman that in the 70s, in the 80s, 90s, or now, whatever. If I was getting alimony and working at the boutique, I definitely would not live in the projects unless maybe she feels like she wants to.
but
Some people like to
but
feel. Some people like to live in an area where they are that's familiar with them and then familiar people. But not me. I.
I don't. Okay,
But then
a
again, she
black
made
woman,
she
a
went to.
black divorced woman. Okay, a black divorced woman that lives in a project that is getting alimony. I don't. Okay, so it depends on, like, okay, it to me, I'm thinking of the man that her ex, what kind of job did he do for him to have enough to give her alimony? Like in the 1970s, as a black man, because I'm pretty sure he lived in the projects too.
He may have
So
not. I mean, but it
how?
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's like as long as if you are divorced and he's making, he's obviously he's making more than her. So if you make more than your spouse, you have to pay. So even with you with child support, you can be working at Burger King. You're
Mm-hmm.
going to have to pay something,
Okay.
even if it's
I
like
don't know that. Yeah, I
a
don't
hundred
know.
dollars or less. You have to pay whatever you got. So it's like if he's making more to her, it could have been maybe $5 more than her. He's got to pay her,
Yeah.
and it may not be a lot. So maybe that's
Yeah.
why she has to live in the projects. But I think she may live in the projects because Florida and her and James were always friends since high school, and she probably wants to be somewhere where she's single. She probably doesn't want to be, she wants people to be near her and be able to, kind of sort of in this sense look after her because she's is single, and the
Yeah.
familiarity of being around Black people and people that she knows instead of trying to go and be like, okay, well, I got this money, I've got a job, I can go and live maybe in another neighborhood where it's, I don't know everybody. She knows everybody. This is familiar with her, and everybody can look after her. So yeah, that's what I think. Because and that could be it, or maybe she just can't, maybe she don't get a lot of alimony because her husband didn't make that much, and she does have to live here. So it could be anything. But she is getting some alimony because I was wondering. I'm like,
Yeah.
clothes. The clothes. There. Another thing too is like, in Cabrini Green, I have to think that there has to be some robberies going on somewhere, and her wearing those clothes, I'm surprised her apartment hasn't gotten broken into,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
people try to steal clothes. So that should have been something that could have been written in. I mean, because I'm like, you can't just walk around in the ghetto like that, and somebody's gonna be saying something. Somebody's jealous. You definitely would have gotten robbed, Willona. But oh well. Moving
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
So,
So
so um So anyway, yeah, I think that's when Valona starts talking about her marriage, and then I guess
yeah,
Michael overhears her talk about adultery.
adultery.
Yeah,
And then
and
and then Florida's like, all right, young man, where did you what kind of book would you find that kind of reading or whatever? She said the Bible.
there's
The
another
Bible.
contradiction, another contradiction,
Okay, so
another
don't you
hypocrisy.
don't you read the Bible? I knew that word when I was young. I didn't probably didn't know exactly what it was, but that was in the first the Ten Commandments.
Well,
Was
maybe in the 70s you couldn't say that word. I mean, you couldn't say a few
it's
things until,
part of the Ten Commandments.
well, you can't say ass either. I didn't say that in front of my parents. That's in the Bible.
But adultery. I mean, okay. I even, there's a lot of stuff in this. This is why we're doing the podcast because there's a lot of stuff that you never really thought about, and when you're watching it for like, laugh or whatever, or nostalgia as one thing. But if you're watching it for like a podcast to try to
Analyze it.
get a different take on it, analyze it, and think about some of the stuff, you know. And so when I heard him say that, and then she's asking, well, what kind of book are you reading? When he said the Bible, it's like I'm like, duh, yeah, because that's the first 10 commandments. That's one of the things that we learned. I learned.
I
Come
don't
on,
know. I think it could be just the writers just trying to be funny and cute. I mean, it
I
may not
I
be.
get it, but come on,
So the writers just be
Florida.
like, oh, well, kids know everything. Where do they get this from? Oh, it's from the Bible. The writers are just trying to be clever and cute and shit. So I'm like,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
But
yeah. But I mean, I'm like, and then the funny. I'm sorry, the funny. I mean, that was funny when James, like, something. He was like taking, like, score
oh,
one for
score.
Michael.
Yeah,
Yeah, score one for Michael because that's idiotic to me.
yeah.
It's like Florida. You go to church every Sunday. It's assumed that you go to church, maybe not every Sunday, but you're a Christian woman. You didn't want to have black Jesus on the thing. You wanted to sit up there and have white Jesus on the wall. Uh, you know, um, you think shooting pool is blasphemous and all this stuff. And I'm like, so you don't know that, your son Michael reads everything. He reads everything, obviously, including the Bible. So that is not nothing to be like, oh my God, you shouldn't say the word. What? It's all it's in the Bible. It's the that's one of the Ten Commandments that you shouldn't do. Anyway, okay, moving on.
So anyway, um yeah, but anyway, so then JJ brings the mail and then James finds out
Yeah,
that he did get the appointment and everybody's happy that he's gonna go down and get this good job and people are like, wow, he's so excited because they feel like they're gonna be rich, but whatever. I don't think there's a funny line where JJ comes in, he's like, what took you so long? He said, elevator was broken, baby. I really like that. That's funny. Uh that's really funny. Um,
he's stupid.
yeah. I always remember that line because it was always stood out for that. So yeah, James go get dressed in his funeral suit and he's gonna go out and get the job and Florida, you know, what?
I was laughing because of the funeral suit. I'm like, come on, James, you can't pick nothing else out.
I mean, that's probably the only suit he has.
Maybe that I get okay. I
I
get
really
it.
feel like they should have all resources presented to them. They don't have money.
Money. I know money. It's like or
So
maybe just afford another jacket. I don't know. All right, they don't have enough money. Okay, okay. I'm done with it. I'm done with
yeah.
it.
So yeah, James leaves and he says, "Let's have a party and let's celebrate." And you know, our executive producer brother, he made a comment. He made some notes about that. He didn't understand why he was so cocky about getting this job and then using the rent money for that. He's like, "Why would you?" And I think I kind of agree with that a little bit. I think my thing is like, okay, so when James goes down to the office to get that job, and maybe he
Yeah.
finds out that he's actually 41 and he should have been 30. And I'm like, the math there is not mathing a little bit because I thought that it was under the impression that um at least I thought, and I could be wrong, that Florida and James were teenage parents. Is that true or no? No,
I don't think not teenage
maybe
parents,
just young parents.
young parents.
Okay, and that means JJ, if he's the oldest and he's 17 or 16 right now, that means he was born in the mid 50s. If that character was born in
Yeah.
the mid 50s, that means if he was born in the mid
Or
50s,
he was born in the 50s.
50s, that means that
Or maybe
James
a
and
little
James
bit
and
before because
if he's 17, that means he was born in like 50, 59, 50.
yeah, 1957. It just
Yeah.
seems weird. It
So
seems
he
like
was born in 57. That means Florida and James were 20 something. Because if James is
yeah,
40 now, that means he was 20 when he had them, early 20s, and now he's 40. Um,
yeah, 41.
so my thing is, I mean, considering, the time, the trajectory of the time, the 50s, 60s, my thing is like, you're 41 years old right now. I know this is gonna sound like your complaints about the him, having more and stuff like that. Here's my complaint about it more.
Having what?
Having more, like more resources. My
Oh,
thing, here's my complaint. If you're 41 years old and you still can't, I don't know. I'm like, I understand that when you don't have an education, it's hard for you to get a job. But by the time 20 years later, you kind of like are into something. You found your niche because there's a lot of people that are self-made or they find their way or they do something. By the time
mm,
they get 41, they're kind of like, okay, I got I see how that works. Because you're 20, you're pretty much jumping from job to job because
yeah.
you're just trying to
So
get
what
your
you're,
footing.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So my thing is like, you're 41 now and you're still there. Not that that is a bad thing. I'm just saying that 41, wow. And you're still there. Not that that's a bad thing. I don't want to judge me. I'm just kind of like, when I realize that, I'm like, wow, 41 years old. By the time you're 30, that's when you start to get especially but from what I've seen, people who have families early and then they don't get the
Yeah.
education to do that, by the time they're 30 or 35, they usually are in a career or they've got their, they're pretty steady in their
Or
career or something like that.
a trade job,
Yeah, they're
really.
pretty much, or they've done, yeah. Even if it's something that's not has to do where it's educational, like, say like you find a job, you have a kid. This is how I see it. You have a kid when you're 20, you're looking for jobs, you're doing odd jobs. By the time you get the late 20s, then you get into that entry level job, and that's the job that takes you gets you that's long term. And then by the time you're 30, you move up because you've been in that job for 10 years, and then you just move up, and by the time you're 40, you're just, you're almost like maybe a manager, assistant manager. That's how I see it. But I'm not, not everybody's story is different, but
But
that's
I
what I'm coming
guess,
from.
yeah, because this is the mid. I don't know. I don't know how
But see,
times were.
but like with back in the day, it's not like that now. We're more of our generation and everybody this generation is more gig oriented. But back then it was more career oriented. You got in a job and you stayed there for at least 20 years. And there had to be a way where James, found, like a lot of people, they did go to Detroit and started, factory work. He definitely could have. I mean, this is hypothetical, but I think if it was real life, they probably would have been living in Detroit, and James would have been working on the cars, and that would have been his career. That's what I think. Or
No, but
the stockyards. They have the stockyards in
maybe the
Chicago.
stockyard. But I
Yeah,
don't know by the time. I don't know when the
and they
day
had
closed.
there was an automotive industry in Chicago. It had to be, of course. So I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, there's a lot of entry level jobs with people with sixth grade educations that he could have gotten. He didn't really have to. I kind of feel like he didn't really have to struggle that much with how they're portraying it, but it still is a good interpretation of how our lives are because it does reflect how people were struggling in that time in the ghetto. So it's Cabrini Green, I guess. But yeah.
yeah,
But moving on, James goes there. He finds out he's overqualified. I mean, he's over too old, and so he's trying to, but there's just no way he just can't get the job, and they're unrelenting
yeah,
on bending the rules, and so James like, hey,
yeah.
I got a wife and family, I got to take care of them, and he's like,
But
government rules.
uh,
So he
he's
leaves,
like,
and
no, government rules is government rules.
so the kids are dancing in the living room, and I like that because you get to see real 70s dancing. That's what I really like. I like history of dancing, and I like to see that. So just mainly Thelma, of course, because she's dancing
Yeah,
more authentically than anybody. I don't
yeah,
know what the boys are doing, but Thelma's more authentic, and Thelma is Bernadette Stan is a dancer, so
yeah. She's
when
a
she dances,
dancer.
I'm like, that's how they dance in the 70s, and I really pay attention. So, and then of course JJ gets in the middle, and this is where the buffoonery just starts its
Yeah,
growth. He does his boogieing thing, and that's going to be a mainstay throughout the whole series. And Michael's dancing too, which is funny. And just getting ready for the party, and Thelma says that she got all the albums, Isaac Hayes and Marvin Gaye, Curtis Mayfield, and all of them.
yeah.
And of course,
I feel like Thelma's outfit looks cool. I
yeah,
like
it's
this
cute.
cute,
It's cute. I
cute
love that.
outfit.
Yeah, after that last episode, her outfits get much better. So then, after the kids leave, Walana comes in with of course, a very nice, cute dress
Yep.
on, and I'm like, oh gosh, here we go again.
now
Um,
see, you pick about Walona and how she dresses, but I can't say nothing about James and how he dresses just because they have limited funds. I get they have limited funds, but good lord.
yeah, but it
Over
makes
the 20 years or however long that they've been married,
I
he
get
couldn't get
I that's what I'm
another.
saying is it's like after 20 years you guys haven't. I mean, well then again, I think they did say that when they first got married they were living in a very something smaller than that. So I
Yeah.
guess it's just a matter of them. That's how they progressed. But I guess my thing is just like, there you guys definitely could have gotten a little bit better. I mean, I think if it was another family, they definitely probably would have moved to either Detroit or where there's a factory because I'm sure
Yeah.
James could have gotten factory work because that would have brought in a good sustainable income plus, good money. I mean, I think about, I think the first thing I think about is factory work is you know, um Joe Jackson from the Jackson family.
Oh yeah.
He was doing factory work. He did, they
In
had a
Gary,
house
Indiana.
and I mean, that was how many kids? 10 kids or something? Yeah, he
10
took
kids.
care of 10 kids.
Yeah.
And I don't think Catherine, did she work? She didn't work.
I thought she was a nurse at some
Oh, okay.
point.
I don't know.
I
She was
thought,
doing,
I,
oh
I
no, she
thought,
did have a part-time. Catherine did have a part-time job
yeah,
or
yeah,
something like that. So they both
yeah,
worked. So yeah, they definitely, I mean, I don't think, I don't remember ever any of the Jackson ever say that they went without a meal, but they did well. They did fine. They kept their heads above water. So yeah, whatever. Anyway, so this is when Florida and Winona do this little skit about being rich. This is where it is.
yeah.
He said it was before.
Oh,
Yeah, it's right here. It's not before.
well, okay. Jeez.
Whoa, continuity. Just saying. So
Okay,
yeah,
why do okay. I'm looking at Walona's outfit. I don't know why. I don't know. It's nothing wrong with it. For some reason, I like
you don't like
maybe
it?
I have horrible taste or something. But I don't know. I like the little diagonal
I don't like
colors,
stripes. I
and
don't like stripes.
I like.
And only certain people can wear stripes. In my
I don't
opinion,
think I can wear stripe. I do have a striped dress or something like that, but I don't want. Of course, I don't wear that a lot.
yeah,
But
you have to have a body like hers to wear that. But
yeah,
I don't.
yeah.
That's really.
It looks good on her.
But that's
It looks
that
good.
stripes. That's very 70s. I can tell you. It just looks 70s.
It's very 70s, but I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I don't know how she's wearing. I don't know if it's the way she's wearing it or whatever. I don't know. I
I
like
don't.
it.
That's
I
I
mean, I
wouldn't.
like it better than Florida's outfit.
What's wrong with Florida's outfit? I think Florida's outfit's probably supposed to be a little bit Afrocentric.
Oh well, yeah, I guess. I don't know. But that was
Yeah.
quick. Okay, they went to the store. They already back. That was quick.
Well, it's a corner store. Probably they went there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and they did say the elevator was working.
So then here
Then
comes
Michael comes
Michael.
out with his outfit on.
He has dashiki. And then he does a
Yeah,
little,
he just did. He
yeah,
just
little
did
script dance.
little switch
Um, so yeah, yeah, okay, Michael. That's nice. He's got to have some lines. So it might as well be that. So
there.
then, you know, I guess here comes the guests. The guests are coming in,
And then
and
here go Monty.
yeah, the
That's
guests.
what's the name? What's the name? What's the name of the Little
Oh,
Rascals?
Stymie from Little
Stymie.
Rascals.
Stymie.
At least he's getting work. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Uh,
They probably wasn't paying them in no Little Rascals, I can tell you that.
yep. So yeah, they're getting ready for the party, and the guests are coming,
Oh
and
Lord, and here they go with it's this floor this right here is just it I don't know what Florida's dancing is supposed to be about, but that shit cracks me up. Anytime that Florida is dancing or doing the
yeah, yeah. This dance is a little, yeah, that dance. We got to
oh my god.
redo this. We're gonna have to.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Well, I mean, that's probably how she dances. I mean, I don't know.
Attitude. And one. Attitude.
Well, yeah. So, it's a dance. Uh,
Go on. You can go on and say what you. I just like
no, I
watching
mean
this part.
that's
It's
how
the
she
best
dances,
part.
and I mean, there's nothing more to say. It's just that it's something to see. That's all you got to do. But you know what's so funny is that when she was doing that dance, she's wearing flat shoes, so it makes her legs look like they're going out like that. If she had high heels on, it probably would have looked more classier.
Oh
So when
my
she did little,
god.
little whatever that little Charleston dance, whatever,
Like
it
this.
made her
It
feet.
I think she was incorporating some type of African dance. Because if you see, I can
It looked
see
like a little.
that's what it looked like, a little African when she did like this.
It looked kind of some kind of like a churchy kind of um,
Oh,
1920s Charleston
God.
thing, kind of mixed
Oh,
in. But here comes Florida talking about, and then here comes Thelma talking about she wants super bad suede
yeah, this
pantsuit, and I'm like,
bad. Yeah,
no, no, you don't want that, Florida. I mean, Thelma.
yeah. You
Mm.
don't want that.
Oh, and then she says that her that Florida should get a color television. She said, you see the lady in the background, and look
Yeah,
at the
in the
lady in the
purple.
yeah, and she's like, what's wrong with the picture? And she's like, the white ain't right, and the black ain't beautiful. The ladies in the background. I'm just like, lady, it's just a television. Stop with that. Just eat some chips and go somewhere. Bye, that lady. You're just doing too much.
Background. What you want them to do?
No, I mean that's what you're supposed to do. If I was a director of that show, I'd definitely do it. But I mean, like, I'd be like, lady, you're doing too much.
What is she doing? I
You just in the background, I'm like, no, just stand there and just do your. Would you do that at a
don't.
party? I'm not gonna be right on, girl, right on you. I'm like, I'm just
Oh,
gonna sit
that's
down and
in the
drink.
audience, right? Oh, I don't know
I'm
who
just gonna
that
be sit
audience
there. I'm
member.
just gonna sit there and drink, have my punch and chips. Like, okay, congratulations, you got a job. Why would you show up for a party for somebody to get a job? I guess you could. I don't do people do
They
that?
all like close friends or something, even though we never ever seen them.
Well, it's the third episode, first, third episode. But so yeah, they get their drink and they're making a toast to James um about his new job, and James is gonna let them know that he did not get a job because of his age.
Yeah,
So it takes a lot of courage to do that. I tell you, it does take a lot of
yeah, it
courage to
does in
just
front of
to do that.
everybody, and I'm kind of surprised that James said that in front of everybody. That's I thought he would have like okay, pulled Florida aside, maybe in the bedroom, and just told her then, and then she would have told her. Well, she would have just, said, I'm sorry, folks, we got to cut this party short or something. I don't know.
So they brought out the food.
So
I would still let them stay. I'm like, well, we didn't get a job, but you guys continue to eat. I get, well, maybe, I don't know. Unless
that's
they,
true because that's a lot of food that they spent most of their rent on.
you might as well have them eat it unless you just want to save it for the next 2 weeks, which it could go bad, but that's another story. But yeah, but Florida, she supports her man. She goes back into the bedroom and, talks to him, and, builds up his self-esteem. And I'm like, now that's the good relationship that you want. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I did go online to see who, I needed to go online to see who were, I tried to go online to see who were the top, who people voted for the top black, top black favorite sitcom fathers.
Yeah.
Um, I have to say James Evan wasn't number one, but he was always on the list. He was always on the list. There's
Number one?
various lists. I think most of them, the number one father that people voted for, which I don't understand how this person got number one. It was what's the guy's name from Family Matters? Reginald Vell Johnson. He was like
Why?
tops. Oh, and the
Why?
father from the Fresh Prince. Yeah, not Bill
The
Cosby, of
two,
course.
the two, okay.
So what would you say your top fathers
Two,
are?
Okay, let me backtrack on that. Let me make a comment on that. And I might, I don't know, we might get a lot of hate on this podcast, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I hate Family Matters, and I hate the Fresh Prince of the whatever Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Yes.
I couldn't stand. I watched them. I well, no, I watch as much as when they let go the Aunt Viv, the first Aunt Viv. I don't care about no Fresh Prince. I just no. Um, I stopped watching it because anyway, even when I saw the episodes, it was just it was dumb. Family Matters, annoying as fuck. I don't have anything against the actors that played the fathers or the Uncle Phil or um whatever the name was on Family Matters. I don't have nothing against the actors or but I couldn't stand the shows. So those are I don't even consider that. So I'm standing on what I'm saying. James Evans Sr. was the best TV father hands down. I don't see any other TV father. I don't know. Who else? I mean, in my book.
Well, I mean, I think it could be debatable depending on what kind of you think of. Some people
That's
some people
well,
feel
yeah,
like
that's
a
my
father is
opinion.
what the father should be, and if you ask like the generation after us, they definitely would not think James Evans would be a good father because he would be too much for them. He would actually be. They would think that James. I would think that generation. What's the generation after? I think it's Y or something.
The
Z.
millennials,
Yeah, they probably would think that James would be
he's too
borderline
hard.
abusive. So James Evans probably that's probably why
Fucking that abusive.
Reginald Vell Johnson he got it as number one because he's more friendlier and less confrontational.
I'm like, another podcast on the rant of Joni and Dre with other dumbass sitcoms that they can't stand. We have to, we have to finish this one.
Yeah. So anyway, moving on. Let's so Florida cheers up James. He still feels despondent and the show ends. Let's
Yeah,
move on to what we would change in this episode.
in this episode.
You want me to go
Uh,
first?
yeah, because I'm trying to think of what would I change.
I think the first thing is James, you're 41 years old. It's time to start getting into a career. I mean that's what he was doing actually. I shouldn't say that he should, but I think
Yeah.
if I was 41 years old, I'd be like, okay, you know what? My family, we're struggling. Let's move to Detroit and let's go. So let me go get a
Mhm.
factory job. Or let me go work at the stockyards. Let me just go try to be a janitor. I know that'd be easy to get. At one
Yeah.
of the government buildings in Chicago, and so that I can have something steady, maybe, maybe just a little bit of better career, planning just a little if possible. Because going from
Yeah.
job to job is just gotta have has to be a little. Not that it's, but I think in this day and age, it's kind of hard for me to say that. It's kind of a little bit contradictory because um, our era is a lot of gigs, and I live in an area where a lot of people do delivery jobs. They do Uber and Lyft, and it's just
Yeah.
like they do that, and they get paid very well, and they'll
Yeah.
have the Lyft job, and they may have another job. A lot of people have two jobs.
Yeah.
So to say for James to go for have so many jobs is really, it's not, it's probably a little bit judgmental of me. So as far as let's see what else. That's James. Florida, I would just I definitely would have Lona go down and do be a stylist for me. Get another dress.
uh-uh.
But I think that's the dress of the time, so I'm gonna let that go. If you got a friend that's dressing nice, you definitely It's like Willona. Come on, you got to hook your friend up, get her something. You're like, look, you know what, Willona? I mean, Florida, you need to get something that's gonna like, you need to get like a girdle, like one of those shape me things, and let's just put it together. You got a good man, let's put it together. That's what I would do, if you want to stay friends. The kids, I mean, JJ, he's starting to get funny, so I'm like, hey, I'll be on board with it. It just blows up
Yeah.
later on to the story. Everybody else, I think there's nothing else. I think I just, I definitely wouldn't have the party and just be like, we're just gonna, you just getting the job and that's it. We're not gonna invite our friends over so they can signify in the background. Get the hell out of here. Um, but then again, I don't know. That's people put on parties, so maybe that's just my introvertedness. But
I don't. I think. Okay. I think we'll be
yeah,
ending in 10 minutes. Okay. So, I wouldn't. The only thing that I would change would I wouldn't have James to say that he didn't get the job in front of everybody.
you would wait. Oh, you would wait.
I
You would
don't
wait till
know.
after the party.
I don't know. I would just. I don't know. I would just have to take Florida in the room and just tell her. And I don't.
You wouldn't do it.
I don't know. I would do something else. I don't know how the party would be.
I don't know. I kind of like it because it kind of shows a lot of courage. When you can come out, because I'm like, if you just keep it a secret and then later on your friends are like, well, are you going to that job? And you got to tell everybody, each and every one of them, oh
Yeah.
no, I didn't get the job. It just gets tiring. Just might as well just come out and be like, look, I didn't get the job, and don't call me about it anymore later on. But I don't know. I mean, so it shows a lot of courage. That's what I think the character of James Evans. It
Yeah.
shows like he's got a lot of
I don't know.
courage and love and compassion. I really like it.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But then again, it would be weird to have Florida kick everybody out and be like,
Yeah, you just want to
so
just continue and just.
yeah, yeah. But I
But
don't know.
if they're your close friends, they definitely you have nothing to hide and they're gonna understand. So I would
yeah.
just say it too. It's hard, it's not easy, but I would definitely just go ahead and be like, yeah, I didn't get it, but let's continue the party.
Uh, what else would I? You know what? You know what I would change? You know what I would definitely change because it didn't fit or it just I was like, mm, no. The whole skit between Walona and Florida, like I would take that out. I would kind of take that out. Like I get it, but or I would just shorten it. I would like make it a little like 30-second joke and then that's it. But they went on and on and on. And I'm like, I would take that out because that was just like, that was like a scene to fast forward. I didn't want to see that.
Hmm.
As it was cute, but you could have cut that down short. But other than that, I mean, I definitely wouldn't change the whole dancing for Jim.
Oh,
So
geez.
I guess I wouldn't. I guess, yeah, I wouldn't change that because that was the best. Because every time I watch this episode, I look forward to that part because it's hilarious to me.
I
It's
bet you know what?
hilarious.
I bet that should go like on the dancing reel, like with Elaine dancing from Seinfeld,
Yeah,
Florida
yeah.
dancing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that should
because
be like on the.
when we do that episode where they the rent party, oh my god,
Oh, geez.
I can't wait till I do that because
We're gonna have to lot for at least 5 minutes for us just laughing on the ground because
oh my god, it's like I will never forget every time I see that episode. Well, okay, I ain't gonna say it. Just
we'll be reviewing it pretty soon.
too funny.
You should go watch that again after this show.
Oh my gosh.
So
Oh
yeah,
my.
not
So yeah, this is these upcoming episodes. I mean, there's a lot of people, everybody that knows Good Times, they know almost every episode. But just watching these episodes that are a little bit lesser known or don't get talked about, those are I like doing these, you know. And the next one is good too. The next one is good.
What's the next one?
The next one is God's business is good business. When James Preacher Friend, the
Oh yeah, I like
scammer.
that one. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that one.
yeah. So that's a lot to unpack with that one as well. Because that's Christianity and you know all that you know fakeness and all that stuff getting yeah yeah the
And he's just a really
prosperity
it's a really good storyline. I really like that storyline.
yeah that's just you know yeah so
Alrighty.
that's testing your yeah your morals and what you need to do
Yeah.
for your family so yeah okay
Well, that was a good episode of Two Old Blues.
yeah
Not too much. It was pretty straightforward. Not too much going on in there. Not
yeah
not too complicated. James just trying to get a job. So, but it was a good
yeah we
episode. I
kind
really
of
liked it.
steered off we kind of steered off of the
I think we did. It was good that we talked about the who's the best father, the best sitcom father. I also wanted to look up to after this. I'm going to look up to who is the who people ranked as the most romantic black sitcom couple. I
uh,
want to see who that is. If it's Harriet and Carl Winslow, I think I'm probably gonna go and Groff
oh god
because
jeez
I have to say that I
okay
have to
we
say
got to
Harriet
end it
Winslow.
because I don't
She
want
was
to get
more
into another
believable than anyway, but that's another story.
I don't want to get I don't want to get into another
All right. Well,
we're gonna have to make a separate podcast for that.
yeah. Well, thanks for joining us. We'll be
All
back
right.
next week for another episode of Hanging and a Jiving. Please
Yeah.
subscribe and like and
Yeah.
comment, especially about the family matters. We want to hear what you got to say, even though we don't, but we want to hear it. So,
I
all right.
already know my opinion, but anyway, yeah.
All right. Thanks a
Okay.
lot. See you next week.
See you next
Bye.
week.